Good morning, my friends. It's Manny Rodriguez coming back at you with another episode of Deep True Crime. Hope you're having an amazing day. Got your drink going on. And, I hope it's going all well for you, my friends. Because as you know, when I'm sharing these stories, they're not all well, right? We got some doozy stories. Today, the good part is I'm not going to be talking about death per se. But I am going to be talking about another heinous crime. And this one is dramatic video footage of a shooting by New York Police Department to a BMW. That's right. There's been a heist of robberies going on. And someone reported actually seeing some people kind of casing a restaurant. And we're going to dive into that. That's the whole purpose of this show. To keep you updated on all those things that matter around you. To help you be aware of what could possibly go wrong. As someone who has been mugged on the train stations in New York City when I was younger. As someone who has been chased by other kids to steal my bike when I was younger. Now, granted, New York City can be a rough place. No doubt about that. I don't currently live in New York City, but I am from the Big Apple. The first 19 years of my life, my upbringing was a little more challenging. So to me, my whole thought process, get out of New York City as fast as you can. As soon as I graduated from high school, I was gone. And so I'm going to share with you a story that occurred that has been occurring over the last number of months, but they finally got some of the perpetrators. That's right. So we have video footage of this, but let's break it down as to what's going on. So you can see here, police shooting at this vehicle. This is the police. This is an officer firing at this vehicle. And it's it's one of those things that it is a heinous crime. You don't want to see this. And I'm going to show you the video as well. But you can see the officer. Now, first, from what it looks like, they were staking out this Pergola restaurant. Because the string of burglaries were people casing and then robbing people for their Rolex, $100,000 of jewelry. I mean, it got really, really crazy. Like, wow. And so you can see here where the cop was shooting at the BMW. And, these type of things, you wish they don't happen. But truth is, unfortunately, it happens, right? And so I'm going to share with you a little. This is the actual vehicle. Okay, this is the actual vehicle. This is the gun that they found in that vehicle. And I'll break down this story a little bit for you as we're playing out this video. And as you can see here, there are a couple lights on right there. Some headlights right there. Okay, you can see the headlights. They turn on the headlights. They're actually casing the place. And you can see double parked there is actually a cop. It's actually a cop. They were already, a restaurant manager said there's a strange looking BMW out there. Looks like it might be casing this place. Because what they do is they wait for someone to come out and then rob them. And so you can see that the cop just pulls up there, okay? And you can see like the car is about to turn on its turning signal, like if it's going to leave. There you go. You see that turning signal? Like if it's going to leave. Now watch what happens. See, as it's leaving, the cop is turning on its lights to let them know we want to talk to you. And now the robbers get desperate. Okay, officer coming out to talk to them, and it backs up and hits another car. Because now it's desperate, right? So it backs up, boom, and it hits a second car. Okay, making its way on to the sidewalk, going to be fleeing down the sidewalk where pedestrians are standing. Okay, so it goes down that road. And I mean, like, this is crazy, as you can see. This is crazy. And so you had the officer who is assigned to this. You have the officer that's assigned to this case. And he is assigned, this is Officer Corey Titus. He's assigned to the Manhattan South burglary, larceny, assault, and robbery enforcement, because they've been on the lookout for this BMW as well as another car. And he's in his uniform, and he did discharge a total of 3 shots from his service firearm during a confrontation with this subject, later identified as Wilson Mendez, who's only 19 years old. I mean, he's a young kid already setting in his ways. Hopefully not, right? Hopefully he is not already set in his ways. And so Mendez, he was an occupant in this black 2021 BMW 330i. And, you know, the vehicle was recovered during the investigation because and you'll see here in a minute. And so I just kind of want to give you an update of this. And this is the video. This is where am I at here? A little all over, huh? And let's go ahead and play that video some more. And you can see, now you see people standing on the sidewalk. You see people standing on the sidewalk. Right now, you can see the lights are not even flashing yet, right? The car is there, but the cop is not. The lights are not on just yet. Okay, the lights are going to come on here shortly. All right, people just, you know, strolling down. Okay, now you see the lights just come on, right? Remember, it backs up, it hits the front car as well, hits both cars, one in back, one in front, and then it jumps on the sidewalk. Now notice, you know, people are just like, okay, cop car there, we're not stressing yet, and, you know, kind of look back, don't think anything of it, just casually go along with their way. Okay, then they see something's going on. See them? They're all going to start jetting. They're all going to start jetting because this car is coming down. Boom. Now here is where the officer starts shooting at it. This is risky because you see all the people already there, and the officer is going to be shooting at this car. See how it shot 3 times at the car. And I mean, that's dangerous in its own. And now all the cops are looking for him. Now, this is the body cam version from the police officer who did the shooting. Watch it. Gets a little shaky there because he's running. See, now he's pulling out his gun to shoot at him. Boom, boom, boom. Which later down the road, the car does crash into a pole, where they then apprehend the young 19-year-old. So they do apprehend him. And there you have the actual incident. But let's kind of break it down a little bit more. You can see the officer shooting at the vehicle. This is the gun that they found inside the vehicle. This was the car going down there. Officer shooting at the car a few times. This was after. Because after they crashed into the pole, then they go running. There's a passenger, there's a driver, and they both go running. And you can see they finally get the vehicle. They're investigating the vehicle. And this is the perp. This is the Mendez kid. I mean, he's a kid, 19 years old. Look, it still has teen in 19. He's a teenager. He's a teenager. And so you can see the several unmarked police vehicles pull up next to the black BMW. And this was on West 28th Street between 6th and 7th Avenues. And this was around 1:20 in the morning on October 11 outside the ritzy Pergola eatery and hookah bar. And that's what they did. They case out these ritzy restaurants because they know if you're hanging out there, you got some money, right? Now, the vehicle, it had already matched the description of a car tied to several robberies from other high-end diners and jewelry stores. And the police had run the plates, but it did not match to that Beamer that plate was on. And so you can see the video showing uniformed officers attempting to box the BMW in, but the BMW, they were desperate. They were desperate. The driver pops on the curb, hits the gas, and takes off down the sidewalk like it was nothing. Like he's going to risk all these lives as well out of desperation. Here's the thing, my friend. You got into a criminal activity that you weren't going to get away with all your life. It's always a matter of time if you're going to continue to do it. If you did it once, maybe get away with it. You keep doing it, they're going to keep looking for you. They're going to keep looking for you. And so the vehicle, this has all those, pedestrians who have no clue what's going on. They're just standing outside the restaurant and then boom, they're fleeing out of the way, barely escaping injury as they get inside the front door just in time, as you saw in the video footage. And so, Officer Corey Titus, he did land some shots on the BMW's front window shield. So these guys are lucky they're alive. Literally, they are lucky they're alive because it looks like when they're going down this sidewalk, they're ready to take lives. So the police officer, they're ready to take your life to save those lives because you're in a criminal activity and you're about to take down other people's lives. So they're ready. They want to get you without killing you, but they need to stop this vehicle before further harm is done, right? And you can hear, and I didn't play the video, I didn't play the audio version of this, but in his body cam video, the Officer Titus, you can hear the police outside yell as the car can be heard revving its engine ready to go, right? So he fires the shots just as the car speeds back towards the front driver's side of the window. He's just like shooting at that front driver's side of the window. And, so that's where it's like, that's when the pursuit really began. And so the alleged robbers, they jumped the curve. They're nearly hitting all these pedestrians. And you had a wild police chase going after that. What's great is that no people were shot in this encounter. Nobody was hurt. Thank the Lord on that one. And so the vehicle, it made it about a block before it crashed and hit a pole. And this sent the driver and two passengers, so there was three of them in the car, and sent them, once they hit that pole, they were out, they left the car running. And the police, as you saw, they recovered the 9mm handgun, and, the car shattered glass, stained, and they were stained with blood because they were hit because of all that glass and banging into things. And so, and then on October 11th, that's where this whole incident happened, and police were investigating the car as it crashed into the pole. And so one of the suspects, as you can see, Wilson Mendez, 19 years old, a kid. He's of the Bronx, and he was nabbed after a short chase. And he was taken to the hospital for treatment to cuts in his face. As you can see in that picture, he's got some cuts in his face. And right now, it's not clear whether he was the driver or one of the passengers, but he was charged with criminal possession of a weapon. The other two guys, they fled on foot. And, so what the police believe is that these alleged robbers, they used this BMW in at least 12 robberies across Manhattan, across Queens, across the Bronx, using this Beamer. And according to police, Wilson Mendez and the other suspects are believed to be part of a gang in that area called Own Every Dollar. Not too sure where that name comes from, but they are believed to be in part of this, what police describe as vicious high-end robbery ring. That, they call themselves OED, for Own Every Dollar. And they say they are affiliated with this notorious Trinitarios gang in the Bronx. And according to sources, they are suspected in at least one homicide. Whew, that stuff gets scary. I tell you, that stuff gets scary. One of the reasons why I left New York City as fast as I could. But that doesn't matter. I'm in the St. Louis area, and it has so much crime too. So, this stuff happens. That you just gotta. This is why I do this reporting, so this is what can happen around you. Be aware. Go the other way if you see any red flags. And so, a Manhattan cop, he described this 20-member group to the Post as vicious, as a vicious gang. So we'll wait to see how that turns out. And so Wilson Mendez, he is in custody after that chase and the shooting in Manhattan. And so this is where it's a sad story that, number one, that kids are doing this, teenagers. And this was a second time an organized robbery incident was connected to this Pergola restaurant. And this was after a 34-year-old man had $100,000 worth of jewelry, including some expensive watch, Audemars Piguet. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Audemars Piguet watch. And it was stolen from him when he left this restaurant in the early hours of August 19th. So they probably went back there thinking that was in August. We're now in October. Maybe they let their guards down. But it does not sound like they let their guards down, did they? And smart of whoever called and said there looks to be someone might be casing our restaurant outside. And so, there are some other incidents that they believe to be part of this pattern, including a September 16 heist at, an Upper East Side Chinese restaurant, Philippe Chow. And this is where robbers stole a Rolex wristwatch from a man who was dining outdoors. And they shot him in the leg in the process. It's like, wow, like that's some brazen stuff, right? And so this is where it's like, here goes the Pergola right here, the restaurant that they were casing, and also the place that they went down this street. This is where it's like, number one, when people bring out a gun, guess what? What are you going to do then? You can't fight a gun. You can't dodge bullets. And that's where it's harder. And obviously, if they are connected to it doesn't mean that they did, but they seem to be, connected to a homicide. They shot a guy in the leg. These are some dangerous teenagers. I don't know if they're all teenagers or, I don't know the story. This is the first time I'm hearing of this gang. So, my friends, be careful out there. Be careful where you travel. Be careful your surrounding areas. And here's the truth. It doesn't matter how careful you are, stuff can still happen. And that's just the truth. Unfortunately, stuff can still happen. My friends, thank you for joining me this morning. I'm Manny Rodriguez. My whole focus is to keep you updated around these true crime stories. If this is the type of stuff you like to follow, smash that subscribe button and let YouTube know you get some value from this. That way, when I do upload more content, you get notified. Thank you for joining me this morning. I hope you have an amazing, amazing weekend and have a great week that's upcoming. Have a good one, my friends. Peace.